Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and I'm very excited today because we are talking about some potential upcoming cards to Marvel Snap. Now we do know, pretty much confirmed, that the September season is a Spider-Man season and it's going to feature some of the cards that you see on screen. Brilliant website Snap.Fan, they do diggings into the patches and they basically find upcoming card artwork and upcoming card names. So we have a good idea that these cards are coming soon. We also know that the October season is very likely to be a Symbiote season, which I'm super excited about as well. So if you enjoy this video, I'll do a similar thing for the Symbiote season. So let me know in the comments if you do enjoy it. And if you're new, please subscribe. Trying to push on to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, so Snap.Fan, they've done lots of digging and they found these card artworks. In this video, I'm speculating and proposing some powers for the cards. So all of the cards in this video, whilst we know pretty much what the season is going to look like in terms of the actual characters, we don't know what these abilities are. This is just me guessing and proposing some abilities for them. So without further ado, let's move on to the first one. I'm going to go in cost order. Again, this is just my proposals, just some ideas I've got, guys. So first of all, Madam Web. I've created her as a one energy, one cost card with the ongoing ability tap to view the left and rightmost cards in your opponent's hand. Yeah, I've given her basically like a Howard the Duck ability, but for your opponent. I've taken that power down. She's a 1/1. Is this actually broken though? It does make me wonder. It could honestly be a 1/0. Like, you are getting a lot of information about what cards your opponent is drawing, especially when you're tapping and you're seeing the rightmost card in your opponent's hand. So yeah, it's a lot of information to give to a player for such a low cost. 1 energy, 1 power. So maybe it is a little bit cracked, maybe it is a little bit broken, but what do you think? What I wanted to do for Madam Web is give her some sort of clairvoyant sort of power. I did have an idea which I think is incredibly cool, but I think is a little bit too complicated to be a card. But with there being so many Spider-Man characters or web slingers in the game, I would love for her to be like an ongoing card that says when you add a card to your hand, instead of adding whatever the card says it adds to your hand, you add a Spider-Man character. So a Ghost Spider, a Miles Morales, a Spider-Man, a Symbiote Spider-Man, as we're seeing in this season. I'd love that, but I think it's a bit too complicated. Let's move on to the next card. This is a very interesting one, because in the leaks, or in the patch data mining, there's 2 cards related to Scarlet Spider that have been mined. Stupid. Keep going. Fine. Scarlet Spider proper and also a Scarlet Spider clone. So somehow Scarlet Spider creates a clone of himself, or there is some mechanic which creates a clone. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this being like a destroy thing. Maybe you destroy him and you get the clone, and I do think that's actually sensible and I do think it's actually very likely. However, I wanted these like Spider-Man web slinger cards, I wanted them to all be move focused. Now we've already got a card who moves and clones, and that's Multiple Man, so I didn't want to quite do that. So this is my proposal for Scarlet Spider. 2 energy, 3 cost. On reveal, move 1 location to the right to add a clone of this to your hand with +1 cost and +2 power. So the iterations of the clones would look like a 3/5 and then a 4/7 and so on and so forth. So they're basically good statted cards and they do move, so you can, you know, use all the cards that trigger well off of movement. So Craven and Miles Morales, all of that sort of thing. So yeah, it's an interesting idea, this one. Again, I'm not too sure. I don't think this is, realistically, I don't think this is a likely power that this card is actually going to have. I actually do think it may have like a destroy sort of clone thing. But I would be really interested to see it. I like the idea that this curves you out nicely, especially as it's like a 2 cost card. So it could work with Wiccan, for example. And I like the reliability of it moving 1 location to the right. And also the way I've worded it, it would have to move in order to trigger the clone being added to your hand. So you couldn't actually do it like There would be a maximum number of times you could do it, depending on location restrictions and such. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Next up is Symbiote Spider-Man. You would have to assume that this is going to be the Season Pass card. We don't know what the Season Pass card is yet, but this card had the full artwork, had the logo. Madam Web actually had the logo as well. I added the logo onto the Scarlet Spider artwork. But this one is fully complete. And, you know, it's such a big character. It's Symbiote Spider-Man's, which surely can lead an entire season. So I think this will be the Season Pass card. Now, I've gone with this stat line 3 energy, 5 power, because I wanted it to be the same as Spider-Man. And my Symbiote Spider-Man proposal is, on reveal, web the other locations. When your cards move into them, they gain +1 power. So again, I really wanted to make these Spider-Man characters move support, core move support. And in my mind, I actually envisioned him shooting out like a black web, like a black symbiote web. I also kind of wanted to pay homage to the original Spider-Man, which webbed a location, and that webbing just meant that you couldn't play cards into that location. Whereas this is just like with the moves buff. So, moves buff? It's weird. Anyway, this would buff move cards, so you could do things like Ghost Spider or Silk. You know, all of these characters that, or the original Spider-Man even, all of these characters that can move themselves or trigger and move. I wanted them to be able to benefit straight away from Symbiote Spider-Man. So I think this would be a really cool idea. I do think that move in general could do with some basic core support, because like sort of vanilla move decks don't have masses of options at the moment, and they can be somewhat predictable with Heimdall and stuff, although I do also appreciate and acknowledge that in the hands of a competent or I should say really an expert move player, move can be an absolutely potent archetype. But in any case, I thought this was a cool idea. Next up is Araña. I think that's how you pronounce it. And by the way, so this artwork, the actual character itself, I believe the artwork is Patrick Brown, one of my favourite artists who does a lot of like promotional artwork for Marvel. And then I just bunged the logo on and did some AI generated background and a few tweaks. But this is basically Patrick Brown artwork, because we haven't seen the official Marvel Snap card artwork for this yet. Anyway, I've proposed her to be a 4 energy, 7 power card with the ability, you can move this each turn, so like Vision, but also after this moves, move to the location you played it at. So this might sound like a confusing one. Basically, you can move her every turn, however, she will always return to the location that you originally played her back. So it basically gives her a double move. You can move her out, and of course if you fill that location during your turn, she won't be able to move back. But otherwise, she'll be able to keep popping back. So I thought this could be a really interesting support for Craven, another trigger for something like Miles Morales, and I don't know what else. What else? What else? What else are you from? No, sorry, this is weird. Yeah, apologies. I just really am quite strange sometimes, and that's fine. So yeah, stat line 4/7. I think it's a strong stat line. We've seen this stat line with another move card, Stegron, and I think and Hercules as well. Actually, it is like the weird move card body. That's what this stat line is kind of becoming. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know too much else about like what the ideas could be with this card. I would love to hear your ideas for what else this could synergize with, but yes, those are the words I'm saying now, and we're going to move on to the final card, which I'm actually proposing is Silver Sable. Now, Silver Sable has been mined, like she was mined a long time ago, and I can't remember what she is, something like a 2/6, but you can only play it at a location where you've got +10 power or something like that, which sounds interesting. I don't think she's going to release as that. I think it would be more interesting if she released as this: 5 energy, 8 power, and she has this ability that is ongoing. It's not an ongoing ability, but it does happen, you know. At the end of your turn, add a 2-cost card to your hand. It costs 0. So this is my idea on Silver Sable calling in her recruits. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she's like from a private security company or like a security firm, and so she's like hired guns and that in it. So that's basically what I thought with this. She brings hired guns in with her. Now, in a normal 6-turn game, you're only going to benefit from this effect for 1 turn. So you get a free 2 cost. And her stats are just, you know, fine. 5/8. You're not too upset with that stat line. And she gives you a free 2 cost. Now, you can't control what that 2 cost is, so it might not help you, but it might be really good. And if you play her with something like magic, you extend that game further and you're able to juice more value out of her. So I'd love to see an effect like this. I think this is a really cool ability. This is definitely something that I would really enjoy to see in the game. That I'd really like to see in the game. But the other card that it could be is Firestar, who, again, I don't actually have the information in front of me, but she was something like a 6/3, and she's got an on reveal where she adds her power to all cards you played last turn, which is very interesting. I don't know what the season pass card, I don't know which card they're going to go with. I think it's likely that it's going to be one of Firestar or Silver Sable. Don't know who could possibly round out this season, but I think we're pretty certain on those 4: Symbiote Spider-Man, Madam Web, Scarlet Spider and Araña as being certainly part of this upcoming rumoured Spider-Man season. Wouldn't it be funny if none of this transpires and I'll just have egg in my face? But that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of them in the comments below. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. If you could stand the lunacy, I'll see you again.